And the second one is about, the second one, which is called as a duplicate validation. So duplicate means, so every day the program will be running. So these programs will be scheduled, and every day this will start newly added data from this OLTP system into DIM customer. So when the program is running every day, we also need to make sure that whether there are any duplicate records which are getting added. Means, so we are going to validate the duplicate records, whether any of the information is being added, duplicate information, so that we are going to validate again with the help of an SQL, so in using it. So, and the third one is about the data validation. Data validation between the two source and the target. So how do you validate the data? Suppose, let's say you have a customer table in the OLTP, wherein you understand that there are different columns like customer ID and the name of the customer and the location of the customer and the phone number of the customer. So which you have actually loaded into DIM, another table called as a DIM customer table, which you call it as customer ID is being loaded to customer ID column, and name is being loaded to name. Let's say location is being loaded to LOC column. So data validation means you have to perform whether data whatever is present in the each column in the source is matching with the target or not. So you are going to validate customer ID with a customer ID column, name with the name column, location with the LOC column. So each column validation which you are going to perform using the each and every column, that is also again we are going to perform it using SQL. So we are going to use with the help of a set operators. So if you have idea in the SQL, so we are going to use a set operators to perform data validation between the each column to target. So suppose let's take an example. So what you have to determine, let's say the customer name is called as a Sachin, and when the ETL program ETL developer has developed the program, because of some precision issues, so it has loaded only SACHI. So what happened? The name column is not matching. In the source you have the value as Sachin, but in the target you have the value as Sachin. So there is a data mismatch between your source and the target. So basically using this data validation technique, you're going to identify how many records are available in the source which are not matching with the target. That we are going to determine with the help of a data validation and all those things. And the fourth one which you are going to use is about the null validation. So what happens is that when your ETL developers are developing the program, sometimes they miss to connect the linking between the source column to the target column, which causes the null values in your target columns. So you're going to validate the null values and match it with the source if there is no data available in the source or something. So you're going to validate the null values and all those things using this functional testing. So that is how we'll carry out the functional testing. Most of the time we'll be spending on the functional testing, because based on the various programs, we are going to understand each and every transformation or each and every program, how to prepare the queries for each and everything that we are going to understand. And next one is about the functional testing, and the next one is your system testing. So in the system testing, what you are going to validate is basically, so whenever they prepare a jobs, as a success or a failure of the job, they send a notification to the support team saying that so and so job is failed, so and so job is succeeded, and all those things. You need to test those email alerts which are there as part of this thing, system testing, that you need to verify. And also, suppose let's say if your programs are using any kind of shell scripts or anything that is called as a command task validation or a command validation, so those, whether your all the ETL programs are archiving the files correctly or not, or So that is basically the command task validation, archival process of the files, each and everything which we are going to perform in the system testing process. And the other type of testing that you use, that is called as a performance testing. So when you talk about a performance testing here we don't have any automation tool to determine. So which we basically does by using your jobs will be running continuously on that, and you're going to capture the start time and end time of your jobs and calculate the average time based on last 5 runs or last 6 runs, and see whether that is falling to the permissible limits or not. If it is falling into the permissible limits, then we actually approve it as a performance. We'll approve it in terms of a performance. Else, we will not. We will actually recommend the developers to tune the program and all those things. So that's how you do a performance testing and the different other type of testing. So likewise, you will carry out the smoke testing, functional testing, and system testing and the performance testing. So all these things except the performance testing and system testing, everywhere. Yes, so we'll be talking about in detail maybe white box testing and black box testing as well. So how do we actually use white box testing and black box testing in the ETL process, that also we are going to determine. We'll understand in when we start with the actual examples. So we'll understand about it. And that is how you carry out the ETL testing process with the various types of testing and with the help of an SQL. So we'll use the different tools to execute the SQL queries, and that which we'll be learning as part of the training. Once we go through, we'll understand about it. So the next one is about the BI testing. So BI testing is also a simple one. So if you are a manual tester, so you might have already done some kind of a manual testing where on the web pages by inputting something, whether your application is returning the proper data or not, or whether it is returning the proper results or not, all those things which will be displayed. So the BI testing is just like a simple web application. So wherein you'll be providing some inputs, you'll be selecting the few options from the drop down and everything, and you'll be testing it. So here also your testing is actually classified into similar kind of a types. So where you're going to perform the smoke testing, and when we talk about a functional testing, in the functional testing you're going to validate the data, what is being present in the C. Now you have a data which is present in the warehouse. So when you drag in, when you report it in the bar graph or a pie chart, the data should be accurate, what is there in the data warehouse to the report. So you're going to validate the data validation testing between data warehouse and the reporting, again with the help of an SQL. So you're going to perform it and find out whether you have any issues in using it. So functional testing, which you're going to carry out again, a data validation between your warehouse and the reports. And also, so your reporting will consist of some different kind of an option, export into Excel option, print option, whether the UI, it's actually the report is fitting into the UI properly or not, and whether your drop downs are populating the correct values or not. All those things which will be performed as part of the functional testing. And when we talk about a system testing, let's say your basically your reports are scheduled or and different type of integration testing things which we are going to carry out again in the system testing. So here also you will perform the performance testing, so which is about testing the performance of your reports. Suppose let's say if you are running a report should give a result promptly so that the business users can validate. So there will be some cutoff time period wherein you'll have a report has to be throw the result within this cutoff time period. If the report is not performing according to this cutoff time period, then we will actually raise a concern and then recommend the BI developers, basically BI developers, to tune the program. So that's how we carry out the different types of testing. So as part of this training, we are going to understand the Informatica, how to use an Informatica as an ETL tool, and how OBIE is used as a BI tool to perform the integration. I mean BI tool to perform this thing. So all those things which will be discussed as part of this, and we will understand about complete details in the training. So that's it I have for a demo. So if you have any questions quickly, so we can go ahead with the questions, and we can wind up now.
Do you cover any Unix commands or practical?
Yes. I'm actually not didn't discuss about it, because when I'm going to carry out ETL testing process, we are also going to discuss about the Unix commands, shell scripts, how a Unix commands can be executed, where you have to verify, what tools you use, WinSCP, PuTTY and all, how do you use, all those things we'll show you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you. And do you help in the resume preparation too?
Yeah, resume will actually review it and then give you the feedback about it, and any types of, project documentation, that whatever the help you needed, we'll be able to help you out on that. Yeah, if you have any other questions, so please just go ahead, and I think if you do not have, so I think we can watch it.
Yeah, hi Karthik, this is Nirja speaking. I just want to know, have you provided any notes along with the recorded sessions, or is it the post whatever you write on the post pads is what the notes is?
No, not that one. We will actually provide you the soft copy of materials, wherein you'll understand about the project documentation, how does a data model looks like, and how you have to write the test cases, and different test cases, and different documentation about the ETL testing design documents, and how you have to write the test cases, test scenarios, how to understand the data model. Everything will be provided as part of this.
Okay, yeah. Now, writing test cases, is it similar to what we write for as a QA for the functional testing, or is it?
Yes, it's it's a similar kind of thing. Let me just show you, but you'll also attach the SQL to that.
Okay.
So this one, let's say this is a functional testing. So this is one of the, see here, duplicate validation, they have attached the query here. So using this query, you're going to find out whether there are duplicate records which are available in this match sales table. So along with this, you write a test cases, something like this. Right.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Karthik, I just have one more question. What's the difference between data warehouse testing and database testing? Both are testing on the database, right?
Yeah, database testing is, both are the same, but actually data warehousing testing is like where you have a ETL tools and everything is involved. When you go for a database testing, what happens, let's say you just have to validate the precision, you just have to validate the structure of the table, whether it is matching or not, whether you have to validate the data types. So database testing generally be implemented when you are actually migrating from one database to other database. Let's say you have a SQL server which is being used as a database so far for one of the application. Now they're actually migrating from SQL server to, the Oracle database. So in that, they have actually migrated it. You just need to do a one-to-one match between one table to the other table. So database testing is may not be necessarily the data warehouse, and it can be any other OLTP system or a general application which you have. But when you talk about a data warehousing testing, where you'll involve with the tools, that is your Informatica or a data stage or OBIE, all these different types of tools also will be involved.